This is the video you've been waiting for. We're gonna tell you everything we did wrong in our RV renovation.
And how much it all costs.
That's what you're really here for.
Yeah, we know you guys.
First things first. We did about 15 things wrong. 15, maybe more.
15?
We're gonna tell you about the top 15 things we did wrong. I mean, we probably did a lot more things wrong, but.
Things crooked.
This is the problem. It's shorter here and longer up there.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will let us know in the comments the other stuff we didn't talk about.
But here's the 15 things we regret, personally, as the people who live in this RV. The first one is, we regret not buying our coveralls sooner.
I wanted the dang coveralls and then somebody had to go copy me because I ruined all my pants.
And then bought some and ruined them too.
So many clothes were ruined. I just wish we had the coveralls since the beginning. I don't know what we were thinking. It was, and I didn't even count those costs, all the clothes costs. So throw some more money at this project.
If you're thinking of a renovation of some sort or construction, go ahead and get some coveralls or something unless you don't care about your clothes.
And wear them every time, no matter what you're doing.
Yep.
Even if you're like, I'm not gonna get dirty, I'm not gonna get glue on this.
You are.
You will. Yes, you are. The next one, number 2, has to do with how we repaired our walls. We repaired some of the walls, as you guys know, by removing the rotten, damaged layer of wood and then putting new Luan up. However, we kind of wish we had just left all the rotten wood there and just covered it all with new sheets of Luan.
Yeah, I think that would have made the whole process for the walls a lot faster and gave us more structure as well. So I don't know, we should have done that in the beginning.
These RVs use the vacuum bonded walls and roof, which means when you break the seal, you're just removing structure.
Which we didn't break the seal. The seal's been broken with the termites and the wood rot and all that stuff.
But removing it off definitely made things a little less structural. So just cover up. We wish we had just covered it up.
Yeah, just like any other landlord or DIY.
What do they call it? Landlord special. We wish we'd given it the landlord special and just covered it up.
Oh my goodness.
Number 3.
The windows. We regret not cutting them out with a router. We used a jigsaw and it created such a mess. It took so stinking long. I remember.
Why did we do it?
I don't know. I don't know why we didn't. We had a router. I have no idea. I remember doing the top where our bed is, and it just taking so stinking long trying to get the cuts perfect with the jigsaw. Wow.
Craig finally at the very end had like one last window to do and was like, let me try the router. And it worked flawlessly.
Like, what an idiot. Old Craig, past Craig. Holy smokes, do better, dude. Goodness.
We live and we learn. We live and we learn here. And now you get to learn, but hopefully before you start your project.
Get a router. I don't know what you're doing. Get a router.
And number 4 is my mistake. This one I own. We put up wallpaper and I regret that immensely. I wish we would have painted first. You guys already know about this regret.
I don't take any of this blame.
We already went through why I thought the wallpaper would be better, because it would cover up the imperfections on the walls, which if we had just covered up the walls with new sheets of Luan, there would have been no imperfection.
And the wallpaper probably would have worked.
The wallpaper probably would have worked, but also painting would have been a breeze and smooth and easy. So I do regret the wallpaper. It wasn't sticking properly. It still showed imperfections, and I wish we had just painted from the get-go. It was a wasted money and time. Number 5, I'm putting this one on Craig. And this was the fact that we did not know we were going to have to replace our entire roof.
Why is this my fault?
You got up there. He got up there. He said, roof looks good.
It did look good. It looked nice. It was all nice and white. Like I feel like they had just recoated it.
To be totally honest, even if we knew that the roof was going to need to be replaced, we probably would have bought it anyways. However, our regret is not knowing going into it that we were going to have to replace the roof.
I'm gonna sit here and stare off into space and contemplate my life decisions.
I don't really think it should have been a surprise, and I don't think it would have been if Craig had just looked a little bit more. I think you could have easily known that we were going to need to replace the roof.
Yeah, I think we was going to end up having to do a roof no matter what. So it doesn't, like hindsight's
2020.
Yeah.
We don't regret having to do the roof because it was actually a great learning experience.
It was.
I enjoyed the project.
And really, it was nice to do for our first time, and hopefully it showed you guys it's not as bad of a task. Like, it's very doable. If you're slightly handy, it's very doable.
Yeah.
It is a process though. Do not get me wrong. It's a process, and it is taxing on the back.
You know one thing we don't regret though? We do not regret partnering up with E-Trailer for this renovation because we literally could not have done it without them. Not only did they have like everything we needed to do the renovation, they also told us so much stuff that we had no clue about.
Yeah, especially for like the bigger stuff like the roof. They told us stuff we might need. The tow setup, they told us stuff we needed for that. We had no idea.
Finding parts for the right parts for this 34-year-old Class C. Like I would just contact them and be like, we need this, but I don't know which one we need. Their fit guide, I didn't even have to contact them really because you can just use the fit guide.
Yeah.
And my goodness, if you are doing any DIY project at all whatsoever.
Yeah, give them a call. They're super easy to work with and they have, I think, everything. I think they just have it all.
Literally everything. We also have this page. Scan this QR code if you want to see all the stuff that we put together on this RV for our renovation from E-Trailer. We should have got a big E-Trailer logo on the side of this RV because practically everything on it, I think, came from E-Trailer.
Yeah, it seems like it.
From the roof to the water heater. But check out our list, and next time you're doing a project on your RV, give them a look because more likely than not, they will have what you need and the information you need to figure out how to complete your project.
Yeah.
Now, number 6. We regret getting a little too fancy with this thing.
That's what am I doing?
You know, well, throughout, we tried to be pretty fancy, from creating all of our own cabinets, which actually went pretty well, to our custom slide-out pantry behind the fridge. The idea was phenomenal. The execution was less than that.
I mean, it's there.
It's there. It doesn't really function great. We don't really use it. I do store some cleaning products in there.
Works just like we built it.
But
I think we're using a total of 1 shelf in it.
I haven't finished putting the shelf sides up yet. I still want to, but I don't know.
Now we're in it and we're doing it and we ain't needed it. So it's like, I don't know.
It took extra time. I feel like sometimes less is more. And we went a little more is more in some areas.
Yeah. Number 7 is the floor. Not necessarily the flooring, but the subfloor. When we replaced all the wood and then did some of the joists, the floor still feels not so structurally sound. I know the floor's not wet, so it's not like spongy. I don't really know what to call it though, so we're gonna say spongy. It's just not strong. I wish we'd have used better wood instead of the OSB, which you guys called. Maybe even some marine grade plywood would have been better. I think what would have made the biggest difference is if we would have ran joists the whole length and secured them better.
We did put some joists in, you guys saw. The thought was there, but we needed more. We needed more.
And we were trying, I guess, basically cut corners to save time. So we didn't want to pull all the wood up and everything. I don't know. We could have done it better. So that's my biggest regret.
And when you walk along, so if you ever come in our RV, you'll probably notice that you'll notice some areas that like feel like maybe they're
a little
not
softer than others. And again, it's fine. Like you're not gonna fall through or anything like that. You just can feel it, so it doesn't feel normal.
And basically on the exact opposite end of the RV, the ceiling is our number 8 regret. I actually like how our ceiling came out in the end.
I think it looks great for what it is.
I just wish, I regret not planning a little bit better because again, kind of like with the wallpaper, it was the second thing we tried. We bought foam tiles initially and ended up throwing those away. So again, wasted money because the foam tiles just didn't stick to the ceiling. They kept falling down.
And the paint was melting them even though it wasn't supposed to. And the glue we used, if you put too much on it, it would melt them. So yeah.
Foam was not the move. We ended up with the PVC ceiling tiles, which were kind of expensive for like an RV ceiling. Not really the price that I would have liked to pay. I think our ceiling project cost around $300, maybe a little bit more, between $300 and $400 just for the ceiling, which is like, it's kind of expensive for what we wanted to do.
Yeah. With these, we were able to run like a little thing to leave a little gap in between the original ceiling for all the wires. Because some of our vents were not powered vents originally, so we had to get wires to them.
But hindsight's 2020. But if we had known how much it was going to cost and our first plan wasn't going to work and yada 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 and how expensive it was going to be, I might have just decided way back when we had all the cabinets down and everything, get the electrical work done and run sheets of Luan up and attach it, because it would have been cheaper and maybe a little bit easier.
Yep. And don't worry, guys, we're going to talk about some stuff that you thought might be regrets of ours, but actually are not. So it's not all doom and gloom here. So just hold on.
Until we get to the cost, and then it's
okay, and then it goes back to doom and gloom. You need to call it something else, because this is worse than this. The price is not great, guys. Go ahead.
We'll just go ahead and tell you that
We're
now.
warning you now. Whatever mean comment you want to leave or whatever negative.
Just go ahead and write it.
Yeah, do it now.
You're right, okay? Number 9 is not rebuilding our toilet box more sturdy. So you guys know that we got a nice new toilet. Love the toilet. It's sitting on top of a literal throne, as you saw.
So you open the door and you back up. You would realistically close the door as you back in, but for viewing purposes, you get to the toilet. You just kind of swing that thing up there.
Feet dangle off the bottom.
It's literally like the same height as the counter.
It's so weird. It's still really weird. I don't really love it, but after inspecting more underneath, we realized we couldn't really do anything about it with the way the black tank was and the pipes and yada yada.
So apparently, as we have been told, that normally the toilets don't have really any PVC pipe between them and the tank, and they just dump right into the tank. Well, for some reason, this one does have a PVC pipe, and they ran it
like an S shape.
Yeah, like the toilet doesn't line up with where it goes into the tank, so they had to run basically a pipe to get it all the flow into the tank, which means you have to have space between there. So anyways, it makes the toilet sit up high. Needless
to say, we left the box there, and we did put one sheet of Luan on top because we saw that it was kind of sagging.
And put a brace in the back.
And we were like, yeah, let's just do this. This will be fine. We'll sit. We should have done more. We should have taken the whole thing apart, built the box again really sturdy, so that at least when you're sitting on your throne, you feel like it's a throne and not like a wobbly lawn chair, like one of those plastic ones that if you like tilt too far, you might just like topple over. Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like.
We could have done better with it is added a toe kicker, which is where it would just be recessed in the front, because for guys trying to pee, you have to like...
I was like, why do we need a toe kick in front of the toilet?
Trying to pee, you gotta like put your hand up, lean over, brace yourself off the back wall. It's like not great.
I could not. I was sitting here, I'm like, where is he going? Why would you do...
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, which I'm probably the only guy I think that's ever used it since we built this thing out. But yeah.
Yeah. So the toilet could have been better. Number 10, the trim we used around the ceilings and floors, the Insta Trim, flexible trim stuff. It was pretty easy to put up. It's not falling off too much, which I'm almost surprised about. It is falling down a little bit in places, and I just still don't love the color. We talked about this before when we were giving you guys the tour.
I'm not a fan of the color of it.
It was ivory.
It's
and
gray.
It's a little bit more gray than ivory to me. I just don't love the trim. I wish we had figured out something else. I don't know what exactly, but something else. What have you guys used in your, like for trim in your renovations? Do you just use quarter round? Like wood quarter round, PVC quarter round? Nothing?
They're all just
Do you
probably,
just caulk?
They're all probably better.
And didn't need trim?
Yeah, trim?
Trim?
Steroids?
No. He didn't need any trim. Maybe that's what you guys did. You just do a better job.
Yeah.
So that's my regret. I regret needing trim. I wish we had done a better job.
We needed all the caulk and all the trim.
Next time.
Yeah. So number 11, it is not doing the exterior at all, basically.
Aesthetically.
Yeah. It still just looks as terrible or not as terrible. I don't know, whatever you think about it, but we didn't do anything with it. And up close and personal with it, it looks awful.
It's pretty bad. It's not great. We actually have a whole tire well fender with us that we were going to install.
Us? Because we took the old one, or no, it was missing.
It was broken and we took it off.
Oh, there was one, but we took it off because it was broken to replace it, and then we just never did.
We haven't yet. It's been busy, I don't know. I wish we had just fixed it while we were doing the renovation and not told ourselves that we would do it along the way on the road. I also kind of wish we had gotten it painted, but then again, the whole cost thing, we'll get to that.
Yeah. We did get a quote to see how much it would be to wrap or paint this thing, and it was around 12 grand. It just doesn't make sense to do that for this.
So, yeah. In the same regard, though, of why we didn't do anything on the outside, number 12 is taking so long to do it all. That's our regret. We regret that it took 4 months instead of the 2 that Craig thought it was going to take.
Or the
and
6
weeks that I thought it would take. I don't know what I was thinking there.
Overachiever over here.
We apparently were not. We just regret that it took so long. We worked really hard. We were waking up by 8 a.m. working on the RV and working till after dark and editing videos and getting 2 videos out a week. Believe us when we say we were working as hard as we possibly could to get it done, and it still took too long.
I will say in our defense that we didn't think the roof would take as long or have to so much be done with it. I think there was more with the floors. We didn't originally think the cabinets were going to be a thing. There was a lot of stuff that ended up taking longer than we anticipated. However, we're never making the 6 weeks, and I don't think we'd even been able to do it all in 2 weeks still, or 2 months still.
Yeah. Number 13, we regret not replacing the front door step, the exterior step, sooner. We had a box from e-trailer of a brand new front step sitting there for like weeks, months possibly, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna eventually install this. And because our front step was all floppy and ugly. Shout out to e-trailer for having the step that we needed to fit our 34-year-old RV. And when we did finally install it,
Maverick, what are you doing?
he's like, I want to be in the video.
I didn't think putting a new step on it would make it feel so much sturdier and better, but the difference in a new step versus that old one is insane.
And the install was actually pretty simple and quick and easy.
Oh, it was quick and easy, or it was quick.
Yeah.
You can get rid of the simple and the easy. Them bolts and stuff are so rusted or stripped out. I can't remember what it was.
No job is too hard for Craig, though. Old Craig here, he got it done so quick.
No, that pantry.
Number 14, Craig's closet and our coffee bar area. We built that towards the end. We were going pretty fast, trying to crank it out, get things done. We didn't fully think through everything on that.
Yeah.
As many of you pointed out, we put the door on backwards.
Well, not on backwards. We just didn't know that it would make a difference.
That's true, but many people did, and they were like, you probably should have put it on so it opened the other way. And if we had put it on so it opened the other way, it would have made it much better. You guys, good call. But now we've got like holes in the wall, like to flip it around, it wouldn't.
You can't really, but it works or whatever. But when you open it, you do have to reach like around the door or over the door to get in the cabinet. Where if you would just open it so it opened out your way, it would have been much better. The other one is the closet, my closet door. It opens into like the wall, which makes sense. However, I wish we would have built the door off the wall a little bit further. That way there was a gap for the blind. It would have opened up better and everything like that. So now it's like with the blind there, you know, instead of a whole 90-degree angle, you're getting 45-degree angle to reach through.
Sneaking in to get his clothes like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the last one. This is a big one. This is probably our biggest regret, but that we probably wouldn't have done any differently because I don't know how we would have done it differently, but we regret doing this renovation in a big open field with no covered storage, no nothing, just in a big open field with our little gazebo tent. It was very difficult.
Let's talk about that little gazebo tent for a second, guys.
If you don't know.
That stinking gazebo tent. First of all, it didn't keep stuff dry. I don't know why, it just didn't. The humidity in Georgia there is absolutely horrendous. We had a windstorm come through. It blew that stupid tent into the truck, put a big old scratch in the front of it with a dent, and dented up the front quarter panel of it. And then also we had just bought the Suzuki Samurai, which had no dents, and now it has dents in the hood where I guess it just rolled across the top of it.
They're very small, but they are there.
Yeah. It started out so great, and then just rent a warehouse.
We wish we had had a warehouse, a building, a something.
I think that would also help us get done faster, not having to worry about the elements.
Yes, we were constantly like covering stuff, trying to keep our tools and wood dry and putting stuff places and then having to take it all back out. If we had had a workshop that we could like lay everything out, have it organized, have a place to keep the wood dry, it would have made it a lot more efficient.
Yeah, and more enjoyable.
Yeah, I know. This is really all a doom and gloom video. If you haven't watched our whole renovation series, please go back and watch it, because all of this to say, we were having a blast. We had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, we're already thinking of other projects to do now. Like this is great. We enjoyed it for sure.
But nobody really cares about all the things you wanted you liked. We already gave you the tour. We showed you everything we liked about the RV. Now everybody wants to know, now what would you do differently? What do you regret? What went wrong? So that's the video we're giving you guys. But we had a blast. So if this is your first time watching us, I don't discourage you from doing renovation.
No, just be ready for it to be more work than you probably anticipated. If you hadn't done something like this, it's going to take longer than you think, and it's going to be more work
and it's going to
physically than you think. Yeah, and it's going to definitely cost more than you think. We'll get there, guys. I'm telling you, it turns real doom and gloom here soon.
But before we get to costs, I do want to talk about some things that people really thought we would probably regret, and that we even thought we might regret ourselves, but we were willing to give it a go to see. And it turns out we don't regret it at all. And the first big one is sleeping in the cab area.
I don't mind that one bit. Yeah, so like sleeping in the cab is really not that bad. It's nice to be a part of the living room or the actual like area that you spend most of your time in, and be able to lay in the bed comfortably. Like you can lay in the bed and watch TV and still be in the living room. It's pretty nice. The only downside really to it is getting up in it and down is not as easy. I wouldn't even say it's a big complaint, because like I don't mind it at all. It doesn't bother me.
One of our like hobbies that we do is rock climbing, so clearly we like climbing.
Oh yeah, maybe we're just reminiscing every time we gotta do it.
Like, let me do this boulder problem here, which is just getting into bed every night.
But also we can just step up on the bench couch that we built and get into bed. If this wasn't here, it probably would be a lot more difficult, or we'd need a ladder.
Plus, Craig always gets in bed first, and then I get to climb over him, and I get to pretend like I'm trying to like not squish him when I climb over him, but actually I just get to be like, oh, excuse me.
They don't need to know all that.
I just like to annoy him.
Annoy. So
Anyways,
I gotta put up with, guys.
And in order to have our office in the back, we had to move the bedroom to the front cab area, and we really like having our office, so therefore it was
I like the office. This is nice to have. It's nice to been able to build all the closets and stuff that we wanted to have back there. And for my little gaming setup, it's been great. I can't complain.
A big old monitor. Yeah. I really like the back office area. I like our layout that we ended up with. So our residential fridge. Our fridge is like probably our favorite thing that we like bought to put in the RV. And it doesn't draw that much power. It really hasn't been a problem. We do have 920 amp hours of batteries. It plugs into like just a normal outlets, 120, 115, 120 volt, whatever it is. But it hasn't been a problem. It's been fine for us. If you have a large battery bank, it'd probably be fine for you too. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed during our tour, but we don't have a dining table.
Yeah, our office is our dining table. I hadn't noticed. Victoria said she hadn't noticed earlier, and then really it's just because I think eat out too much.
We do like eating out. We have the tables. We also can sit on the couch. You guys know. How many of you? Put it in the comments. How many of you eat at your dining table versus just sitting on your couches, even if you have a dining table? I know a lot of you are still eating sitting on your couch.
Yeah, and what are you doing? You could be sitting on your couch eating, watching YouTube, like Wild RV Life.
Yeah, you could put our playlist on. Just let it.
Honestly, if you was sitting there watching us while eating, you probably would have subscribed. For
and
you
if
ones
you haven't
that
already, you can do that right now.
The ones that have already, I guarantee you've ate and watched us. I know it.
We practically have had dinner together.
I think I've ate and watched us.
That was probably true. Next non-regret is going smaller. So obviously people were like, you're gonna miss that Brinkley so much, and I'm not saying that we like don't miss it at all, but in terms of the space going from like a much larger with the slides, I was pretty worried about going from having all those slides and all the space to like no slides and a shorter RV. I was a little concerned, but
I don't know if it's just the way we built our layout or whatever, and it makes it feel more spacious, but it doesn't feel cramped at all. Matter of fact, we just had people come and check it out yesterday, and they said it feels super spacious. So
it's not been a problem for us. I still feel like we have everything we need. I have a space to hang out. We have a space to work. We have a space to sleep.
A space to put all her plants.
A space for all my plants. What more do we need? Not gonna lie. The kitchen sink's a little bit small. I have to move stuff around when preparing dinner if I'm like gonna cut stuff. But overall, the smaller space has not been a major regret for us at all.
Nah, the kitchen sink is annoying. Let's not get, the sink is annoying. It's too tiny to even fit a pot in there to wash.
That's true. But then I don't know if I would want to sacrifice the counter space to get a bigger sink. I haven't decided on that. That one's up in there. That's why I didn't include it in my regrets, because I don't know if it's a regret or not.
Anyways, what's next? What we got?
The shower. Do we have a nasty moldy shower because we put wood slats on the walls?
I really enjoy our shower. It's like, if you feel like you're in a sauna or something, I don't know. It feels nice in there with the wood. I don't know what it'll be like in a year from now, but right now there's no mold. It's holding up very well. But I will say the shower door that we used, if you're thinking about buying that thing, just skip over it.
I don't know. I don't know what I would have put in instead.
A shower curtain would work better than that sucker. No. So the issue is like, you can't seal the bottom of it very well. So I don't even know how you do it, because you can't impede it moving, which if you seal the bottom of it in some areas, it would. So I don't even know how you would do it. And so we get like a little bit of a leak in one of the corners.
Also, it doesn't always retract good.
There's one video, maybe we can find the shot of it or whatever, but I opened that thing and it just yanked it open or whatever. Boom! That should keep some water in. Oh my. You got to kind of work it open now. I don't know what's going on with it.
I don't know.
Out the box seems like a great thing, but
for the price, which was like $270, I think a shower curtain probably would have been a better choice. Finally, we're getting to the costs. We're gonna tell you how much this thing cost us, which I don't even want to say it. That's why we've been putting it off. Anyway, so this thing cost $5,500 off of Facebook Marketplace. You guys know that.
You know that.
You know that.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, we did a whole renovation. We put a new roof on. We fixed the walls and the floors.
Hold on now. Let's talk about the roof just real quick, though. That roof, if you got to do a roof and you think you can do it yourself, you will save literally thousands of dollars, because it was only like $1,000 to redo the whole roof with material, I believe.
A little more if you count the fans and stuff. But yeah, the actual roof material, $1,000.
Yeah, so I think that was at least nice to learn. Yes.
We saved a lot of money doing all of this ourselves. Obviously, if we were paying somebody to do this, it would have cost exponentially more.
Yeah.
So that's what we need to tell ourselves.
Let's get on to these numbers.
Okay. So including all of our upgrades, fixing the RV, and this includes the value of the items e-trailer sent to us. So you guys know e-trailer provided a lot of these items to us throughout our renovation.
Yep.
We know that that's not something everybody has access to, so we counted the cost of them like as if we had spent the money.
Yeah. And I will say now, some of the stuff you will have to do your own due diligence and figure out if it is worth for you to have the same one or maybe a cheaper version of, like for instance, the fans we got. There's cheaper fans out there. You don't have to get them, but we're going to include the cost of the ones we got and all that stuff.
All that being said, all of the upgrades, fixes, all of that stuff cost us a total of supplies, trips to Home Depot, or 100 trips to Home Depot.
You're not ready. You're not ready. Is it building? Is the suspense building in you guys?
Okay. Cost a total of $15,740.
Golly, we're broke.
And then let's add that to the $5,500, which brought us to a total for this RV, now that it's finished, $21,240.
Again, guys, you don't have to go as crazy as we did. It could have easily been much cheaper than what we did it for. We kind of wanted to just go all out, show you what an all out cost would be on something like this.
Is that why we did it?
I mean, I don't know. It's like, why not? You know, let's see how bad it can really be. If we were doing a budget build, maybe we do one day. That could be
a budget build. That could be, yeah.
Y'all let us know. Do you want to see like a budget build of some kind of travel trailer or RV or something? That'd be cool. A
few things that weren't super necessary that we spent a good amount of money on. Let's list those. And then there was a few things that we didn't include in the total that we'll talk about as well that you'll need to account for if you're going to do the same thing that we did. Our seats. The seats that we did count in this total cost $2,600. That's a lot of money for 2 items in this RV.
And time was a factor for a lot of our buys. The seats, we waited too long to get seats. I didn't know they would take so long to get them. So this was like one of the only companies that could get them to us in time.
And they're really nice and comfortable and we liked them, but they were expensive.
They were.
So our flooring, we spent almost $700 on this linoleum flooring that I ordered from the UK because I really liked the pattern and I do still love it, but I could have done it for less than half the cost with flooring from Home Depot.
Yeah, so, it wouldn't have looked retro, but it would have looked fine. It would have worked perfectly fine.
I still really like our flooring. I don't regret it. I'm just telling you it could have been cheaper. Tankless water heater, over $700. Technically the water heater that was in here was working.
But it was old.
It was old.
I think original, so.
But you could have maybe kept it. I don't know. We replaced it. We included our cost. But again, could have saved a little money there. So that's like several $1,000s right there that we could have taken off the total. So a few things, costs that we didn't count in this total. Our furniture, our TV, our speaker we bought, that type of stuff. We didn't include in the total. Tools we had to buy, we didn't include because you might already have the tools. Whatever. Also, the tools were kind of more of an investment for future projects. We could have got away with just a skill saw and, I don't know, simpler tools. We didn't have to buy a chop saw and a table saw and all that, but we did because we know that we want to do more stuff. So. Right. A few things on the RV that you might think were included, but actually weren't, so you'll have to account for those if you want to do it, is our solar build, our suspension upgrade, and our AC. All of those were really, really like extras for us. And our solar build included components that we already had, that we brought from the Brinkley. You guys saw that video. If not, I'll link it down below. But I just didn't include that because you don't technically need a solar build on your
No, you technically could go to Harbor Freight, buy a cheap generator, and boondock as much as you want with that generator. You'll have to refill it with fuel, but you can boondock off that. We did it for a year off a generator, so that's doable. Also, I think the closest thing out of them things that is a necessity, which it still wasn't because we could have RV'd without doing it, is the suspension upgrades that we did. That helped so much. Like the difference between before we did it to now was a big change. And if you do have a lot of sway and you're not happy with the way it steers or whatever, I would look into the stuff. So. We'll throw a QR code up if you want to check out what the cost would be so that you can kind of add that to our $21,240 total and keep your own running tally of how much money is in this thing. You can scan this QR code and check them out on each trailer. Yeah. Okay, so was this RV worth the $21,240 that it cost to fix it up? What's your answer?
Objectively, no. Taking out all of the other stuff, the emotions, our experiences.
So materialistically, is this RV worth $20-something thousand?
Right. No. Could we sell? Could we sell it for $22,000 and get our money back?
I'd be lucky, I think, to sell it for the $5,500 we bought it for.
I don't know. I'd be worth a little more than that. But so we know that no, it's not worth paying maybe $22,000. But are we glad that we did it?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun adventure. We're getting to do a crazy adventure with it. Going to Mexico in it is going to be way better than taking our Brinkley down. So
the actual project, we really do like doing projects together. It was a lot of fun. Yep. You guys saw we had a lot of fun together doing it. Also, it brought so many of you guys here. A lot of you watching this are probably just joined us here on our channel since the renovation because it was actually quite popular. So, business-wise, it was like a decent investment into our channel and growing here.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. It's the $20,000 is we got basically a whole RV that's drivable for $20,000, and I feel like it's pretty reliable at this point. Like you probably could do a good amount of trips in it before you had some big issue with it. And on top of that, our Brinkley, was it 100,000? This was 20,000, and we're having just as much fun.
And the Brinkley doesn't count the truck that you have to have.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. So I don't know. Maybe it is worth it. I don't think we'd be able to sell it for that much.
We're not getting our money back like from selling it.
Yeah.
But we're getting our investment back in memories and experiences.
That's what everybody says. It makes a bad investment.
Hey, we're glad we did it, and we're glad that you guys came along for the journey with us. What do you think? Are you glad that we renovated this Class C? Did you get to enjoy watching it?
Well, yeah, which we still got our whole trip in it, so maybe you want to wait until you see all that.
It's going to be good.
Yeah,
it's going to be good.
We'll see.
But overall, as with any DIY project, we learned a lot along the way. There were some things we could have done better, things we could have done differently. Some things that turned out really great, surprisingly. And, it cost more and took more time than we expected, which that is to be expected from any DIY project.
Yeah.
So, hey.
But I mean, again, we're happy with the decisions we made, and we didn't have to make it as expensive as we did. There's a lot of things we could have done different to make it more budget friendly that we didn't do. I don't know, no complaints. So really,
we're happy with our decision.
Yeah, yep. So. I know a lot of this might have sounded like complaining, but we're just telling you like what we could have done better, I guess.
Just in case.
So if you're going to do this, don't make them mistakes.
15 of them that you can avoid on your Class C DIY project.
But I think that's all we got for you guys. Let us know what you think about it. Do you think it was just a dumb thing we should have never done? Or are you enjoying it? Let us know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more stuff. Also, guys, let us know about that budget build. I got the wheels are turning on this sucker now.
Like we said, we did buy the tools with future projects in mind, if that gives you a little hint about our future.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what it is, but we know there will be some. And
hey, give us some ideas of places that you want us to visit with a budget build. If you want us to do the budget build, I don't know. You guys keep us informed on your plans for us, okay?
Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.